Hello and welcome. I'm Brittany Elliott. I help mothers reconnect with themselves through self care so they can create a loving and fulfilling relationship with themselves. Thank you for being here. This podcast is all about simple, sustainable self care that will help you navigate your motherhood journey and thrive as a woman. We are all at different stages of our motherhood journey while overcoming different challenges along the way. And we are all women with passions, goals, gifts, and talents that didn't stop when our kids came into our lives. Motherhood is easy to get lost in, and it's a big change. Change is growth, and growth can be messy, exhausting, overwhelming, beautiful, and amazing. In each episode, I hope you find a healthy mix of inspiration, motivation, and accountability as you continue navigating your motherhood journey. This is what self-care looks like. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to What Self-Care Looks Like. I am Brittany Elliott. I'm a self-care and mom life management coach through my group coaching program, Reconnect, and other resources that I offer through Back to You in 5. I help mothers change the motherhood narrative and reconnect with themselves so that they can feel vibrant, empowered, and fulfilled, all by moving themselves up on the priority list. And I hope you all have been enjoying season 13. If you're a new listener or watcher here, welcome. Season 13 has been mostly guest episodes, which is a little bit different from what I've done in past. Most of the time, I'm interviewing guests during the Mother's Day series that I run, usually during May. But I really think it's valuable to bring you different perspectives about motherhood and also other resources that are out there that are women-owned, mother-owned, and are just support-based services. So I love to bring other women on the show. So if you have a recommendation for any guests, please DM me on Instagram or just simply email me at brittany@backtoin5.com. And most of my episodes, just so you know, I batch record like most podcasters do, unless they're doing live. We usually will batch record. So by the time an episode airs, weeks maybe have passed. But in this case, I am shoehorning this episode into season 13 that I am recording for tomorrow's episode. So it's pretty fresh because I had something happen recently and got inspired with this message, and I didn't want to wait until season 14 to talk about it. I just wanted to talk about it now, and I didn't necessarily want to talk about it on an Instagram live first. I just wanted it to be content for listeners of and subscribers to the podcast. So here's the backstory. And this is going to be focused on stillness, one, and making space for yourself, holding space for yourself as a woman and a mother. So the other day, it was either lunch or breakfast time. No, it was either lunch or dinner time. And Bristol and I were going to eat something different. She decided on something, and I decided I would just have peanut butter and jelly. So I got her food together, and she was sitting and eating. And I had started to make peanut butter and jelly, and I went to grab, as I usually do, grab a paper towel, get all the supplies, throw my peanut jelly on there, and then I was going to most likely eat it while I was walking through the house. I probably would have grabbed my phone and started working on something, or come to the office and started working on something. And I heard a whisper, an internal whisper of just slow down, just slow down. So I grabbed a plate and made my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I plated it. I got my drink, poured it in a glass, sat down at the table, treated it as if it were, like a fancy meal, if you will, like a respectable meal, right? And there's sometimes when, you grab a food and you want it because it's a food that is mobile. But a lot of times we don't realize that we're in this cycle of productivity in work, and we don't even give ourselves space to eat in peace and to sit with our food, enjoy our food, and let our mind and body work together as we're nourishing it. So in that moment, I thought about why that was my default setting. Why my default setting was to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and walk around with it. And I remembered my programming. I watched my mother when we were younger. She rarely would just sit and eat. She would nibble at things as she cooked them, or she would make something like a sandwich and, eat it on the go or take it with us on a drive, things like that. And so seeing that mirrored all the time, I grew up doing the same thing. And time spent eating and nourishing our body, sitting together as a family and eating, that's all very valuable because it gives us our time to connect with other people, the other people in our family who we're eating with, and breaking bread with them. But even when you're eating by yourself, it gives you that space to connect with yourself. And I do a lot of thinking when I'm eating by myself. And there have been often times that I'll sit and eat by myself and I'll put on a show, do something that's like a mindless thing to entertain myself while I'm eating. But I found that I can really clear my mind and reflect when I'm spending that time without distraction, so to speak. Just sitting and being present in that moment. So, in this episode, I really want to talk to you about what is it that is getting in your way of sitting with yourself and really holding space for yourself. What is it? What's your rushing meal? Is it a peanut butter and jelly that you just sit and try to eat in a hurry because you're moving on to other things? Is that happening because you're not anticipating your own need of eating? And I know a lot of mothers who do not think of themselves when it's time to eat. You're thinking about feeding everybody else, and then you don't have good eating habits. You don't have a good relationship with food. Everyone else is eating these full course breakfasts, and you're just grabbing a banana or a handful of nuts. So, how you show yourself that you love yourself? How do you show yourself that you value you? How are you pouring into yourself? If you're not pouring into yourself, how are you depleting yourself? We talk a lot about the external ways our energy is depleted and our task list and the mental load. But we don't spend enough time talking about what am I doing to me? What are you doing to you that's really becoming a roadblock for you getting to where you want to be, as far as the type of mother you would like to be, the type of woman that you would like to be, the type of wife you would want to be, all of that. And so reflect on that. Take a step back to think that through. Because I know for me, I was just in self-sacrifice mode. I just thought, I just need to make sure everyone else is okay. I need to make sure the house is good. I need to make sure I'm doing what I need to do at work. It was me making sure that I was good and happy and fulfilled, and all of that was at the bottom of the list, not with intention. It became not even expectation. I just didn't think of me. I wasn't thinking of me. And because I wasn't thinking of me, I wasn't training other people to always think of me. And that's one thing I really value in my relationship with my husband. He is always 100% of the time thinking about me, thinking about ways that he can make my day easier, ways he can make our lives easier, ways that he can show me how much he appreciates me for all of the things that I do. He pours so much into me and helps me feel confident in being able to have a business while working full time and being a wife and being a mom and all these things. And I love that he does that, because in past relationships, I didn't get that type of support and just feel that type of love. And it just creates this new energy. And because of him doing that for me and building me up, I started to do that more for myself and setting more boundaries. And so now that has become the standard. He showed me the way to the standard, but I understand now that I should have been showing myself the way to the standard. So this is specifically a spinoff from Mealtime, but in what ways are you devaluing yourself and showing others through the way that you treat yourself that you are not worthy of time spent, that you are not worthy of rest, that you have no other value beyond being productive? And many of these things are driven by societal expectations, which is why the work of Back to You in Five, the work that I do as a coach, is about changing the narrative so that you can adopt really what self-care looks like for you and what motherhood looks like for you and how you want to live your life. It's very tough to be a mother. It's very challenging. There are a lot of challenges, but we also do a lot of things to ourselves by not sitting down and eating the meal, by not taking our lunches. And it's very easy to say, well, if I'm not productive in this job, I'm looking for a promotion, for example. Let's say you're looking for a promotion and you're like, they want to see someone who's burning the candle at both ends and overly productive and just on all the time. This is what this company wants. This is how I advance my career. Then I would say, is that the type of career that you want to work in? Because just because company A wants that and values that for you to get promoted doesn't mean another company would not take you as you are with your skill set without you burning out and promote you even beyond a type of position that you were looking for. So reclaim your power. Reclaim your power in the little things. We're looking for, a lot of times with transformation, with you feeling the way that you are, and motherhood being draining and exhausting, and you wanting more for your life and wanting more out of your motherhood experience, we're looking for this big change, this big transformation. And the big transformation is in the future, based on the building blocks of these small changes and these small choices. Self-care is the practice of protecting your well-being and happiness. So you have to be intentional and to protect it. You have to be active about protecting it. And a lot of self-care is more about the decisions that we're making in our lives than the actual activities that we do. It's not just about getting up in the morning and doing yoga. It's deciding and committing to do that. So it's not just the activity. It's just that you've committed to get up and do something for you. That's the decision. And then the activity, how you do it, what goes into your routine are all secondary. So what I want you to do in this week and beyond is to think about ways, the simplest of ways, where you can hold space for yourself. Just hold space for you. It's while you're sitting down and eating, while you're driving alone and you are saying your affirmations about how you appreciate being able to get to work, or how you appreciate being able to commute to wherever it is that you are going. How can you Show yourself appreciation when it's time to get in the shower, for example. I know this morning I was getting ready to attend an event, and I was rushing. I was rushing because I didn't get up on time. Got up a little bit late, and then I worked out and had to get in the shower. And I was just rushing. And when I got out of the shower, I was like, man, I should have got up a little earlier so that I didn't have to rush, because I've created such a lifestyle of not rushing in the shower, of the shower being a time for me to decompress and set my intentions and to reflect and be at peace with myself, that having a rushed one kind of threw me off for the day. So I had to, take a step back to just focus on the type of day that I wanted to have. So I want you to think about the small things that you can do to show yourself some value and to hold space for yourself. That can be always plating your meals. I don't care what it is. If you're getting some chips or some nuts or some fruit or something for your snack, plate it. Sit down, get your napkin, get your drink, sit there. If it's just you, or if you're sitting with your family, eliminate those distractions and take your time to eat, to taste what you're eating, to enjoy what you're eating. Part of physical wellness is a relationship with food and our diet, having a good relationship with food, and taste, an important part. Like, enjoying eating is a part of your physical wellness. We have to eat, right, for sustainment and nourishment, and that's a requirement. So if you have to do it, why not do it in a way that you enjoy it? Think about those things, ways that you can honor yourself. And I'm not sure if you saw my live last week on Instagram. Well, it wasn't last week, it would be like a couple days ago, but talk about doing things for your future self. And I went through a list of things that you could do. A few of them are like picking out your clothes for the week ahead. And if you're going to do that, you can take time making space for yourself and really thinking, this outfit that I'm picking out to wear for Monday, I'm wearing this because this is how I want to feel when I go into the office. Or even if it's your outfit for the gym, or if you have plans to go shopping or meeting friends, like putting time and energy into the outcome that you want. You can do that with your clothes. When you are planning your schedule for the week, when it comes to your household task schedule, if you're saying, I'm going to do laundry on Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays because Tuesday is just a more peaceful time for me, or I want to fold clothes while this show is on and I like to watch the show with my family and we can all fold things together. Or I'm going to do my self-care time in the mornings because that's the time when I feel the most at peace. That's when I feel like it's more quiet in the home, where I can really just focus on me and my needs. Or if you decide that your self-care activity is going to happen every day in the evening, maybe you want to do like a tea ritual and just rest and reflect after everybody goes to bed, not stay up and do tasks. I'm all about if household tasks and cleaning and organizing, excuse me, and things like that energize you, that's great. I just don't recommend it at night when you're preparing for bed, because you don't want to be too energized to go into bed. You want to do something that is reflective and that calms you and that eases you into your bedtime routine. So drinking tea, meditation, stretching and yoga, those things are ways that you can pour into yourself, but may not like give you an energy boost that you can't come down from quickly. For me, I had a busy week last week, I guess, guys. Vision board workshop I had on Thursday evening, and after those, I am very energized. So I don't get much sleep because just being around people and talking about setting goals and setting intentions and that type of thing really does energize me. So it takes me a minute to wind down after those, and I always do them after work. So whatever day I do those, it's a very long day, and then the next day I'm a little bit sluggish because I have a hard time getting to bed. And Sundays are like that for me too. So Mondays are tough, but I already know that. And so typically Monday mornings, I don't plan to work out. I plan to sleep in a little bit longer because I know Sundays I'll be up maybe a little bit later, or I'll be a little more energized just from hanging out with the family. So that was a slight rant, only because it was off the cuff and I didn't script it out for this one because I was just inspired by the realization of how we have normalized not holding space for ourselves, which is completely separate from external factors that impact our well-being. But it's time for you now to take a stand and say, this is what I am going to do for me. Like, everything else be damned. But with me and myself, when I look in the mirror, I am going to know that I am fighting for me. I am holding space for myself. I am loving on me because I am worth it. And if no one else is going to love on you, you need to love on you. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that carries y'all into this week and you can focus on truly reconnecting. And speaking of reconnect, we run the program, the group coaching program, 4 times a year. So make sure you check it out for the next enrollment window for the next start at backtoon5.com or backtoon5.com/reconnect. Until next time, thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to What Self-Care Looks Like. Again, I am Brittany Elliott, a self-care and mom life management coach. I help working moms change their approach to motherhood so they can feel vibrant, empowered, and fulfilled in their motherhood journey. My group coaching program, Reconnect, is built around the 5 wellness pillars that will help you feel the most whole as you balance your motherhood role with your personal needs. So be sure to check in with yourself using the free wellness quiz at backtoyouin5.com/quiz.